I think I have spent probably the last 30, maybe even 40 years trying to reconcile this idea of God. And still, when I hear God referred to as Him, when I hear God referred to as Father, it triggers me a little bit. Because I grew up, as some of you, others of you did, grew up in a more traditional Christian denomination, faith. Grew up, and I didn't grow up, but I was in the Baptist tradition for many years, and so I learned these ideas about God, that God was judging, God was condemning, that God was some being that was always kind of looking down and judging. And so it took me a while, and it still takes me a while, and I'll be honest with you, I am still working at reconciling God as I understand God. And I don't think I'm the only one, right? I mean, you're laughing in recognition of maybe there's something going on. We had a class yesterday, prayer class, and the teacher, Eugene Holden, asked in the class, how many have a little issue with the word God? And probably half of the people raised their hands in honesty that this idea of God is sometimes troubling. What is this thing that we call God? And what does it really mean to us? And we talk about it a lot. In unity, we use the word God. And, I'll be honest with you, as I always try to be. Even a couple of weeks ago, I had decided I was never going to use the word God again. I'll be honest with you. I was like, okay, I cannot in integrity use the word God, because I'm not even sure what I know about God or what I believe that God is. So how can I use the word when I'm standing up here and you take your time and energy to listen to whatever comes out of my mouth, which sometimes I don't even understand why you sit there and listen to me. But you do, and I appreciate that. How can I, in good faith and integrity, talk about God? And so I've processed that, and I've thought about that, and I've journaled about that, and I've written about that, and I've meditated on that, and I'm still not sure. And yet, I want to talk a little bit about that today to maybe bring up some questions for you as well. Maybe not. Maybe you're very sure about your idea of God, but we talk about God a lot. We talk about love a lot. Sometimes we use those words interchangeably here in Unity, God and love. We say, our God is love. We say that every Sunday here. Our God is love. Unity's first principle, there are 5 principles in unity, basic principles. The first one says, there is one presence, one power, God the absolute good. God the absolute good. Scripture tells us God is love. Those who love know God, and those who don't love don't know God. 1 John talks about that. We say love enfolds us in our prayer. We sing every Sunday, let there be love on earth and let it begin with me. We talk a lot about that idea of love. So I want to explore this idea that we say every Sunday, our God is love. Now, do we mean that as we understand God, it is love? Or do we mean that love is our God? Is there a distinction? I think it may be both. I think it's both and. that God is love and our God is love. We understand God to be love, and we make love our God. But what does that mean? Are we just saying it? Are we just saying it because it becomes a routine for us? To say God is love, our God is love. Great. We got it. Do we really feel it? Do we really know that? How do we know that we know it? And do we live it? Most importantly, do we live it? Are we living love? And I think that's an individual question we all have to answer for ourselves. But I like to think of this way. Yeah, you may have heard me say this before, but I like this idea that love is a primordial energy. That love is the very essence of the energy, the life that created everything, and it is the only energy that is in expression in the universe. I like to think that there's, we talk about spirit and substance. Spirit being the energy, the life of the divine, or the creative life energy. And we talk about substance as being not matter, but the very foundation of all matter. It's like the God wave particle. The God wave particle, using quantum theory, It can be wave or particle. So it's that, and then the Spirit is the energy that acts upon that then creates the universe that we know. And so I like this idea that love is the energy that acts upon the wave particle that then becomes the form that we perceive, all form that we perceive in the universe. That wave particle has become formed through the power of love as you and as me. That wave particle has become formed through the power of love as the animals and the plants and the earth itself, all of the universe. And that is God, creative life as love expressed in the universe, and that everything is imbued with love, everything, and yes, everyone. Even though we might judge it otherwise. So that is why I like to think about love as love and God being related or being the same. Now, do we make love our God? That's a different question, I think. We can make lots of things our God. We can make money our God. We can make power our God. If that's what we are striving for, if that's what we put our energy into, that's what our main focus is. Money can be our God. Power can be our God. Self-actualization can sometimes be our God. But is love our God? And how do we know that? How do we choose for that to be our God? And we also say in unity that God is omnipresence. God is omnipresence, that we are enfolded. We use that word in our prayer. The love of God enfolds us. There is no spot where God is not. There is no spot where love is not. That is everywhere present. Yet do we see that? Do we choose? It's a great concept. It's a great idea to say, well, of course, God is omnipresent, love is omnipresent, but do we see that? Do we know that? Do we experience that? We talked about this yesterday in our class, especially in those people who irritate us, those people who push our buttons, these situations in the world that seem absent of love. How do we see love in and through those situations? How do we see love? How do we know that love is present? I have been dumbfounded, and I've been sad, and I don't even know the right word, just sort of, I don't know. When I've hearing these stories, these reports about so many priests in the Catholic Church abusing children. There was a report not long ago, recently, that the same thing is occurring in the Baptist churches. That people in authority are using their power to abuse children. How is there love in that? Where is God in that? And that's an interesting question. Where is love in that? And I think that is an extreme example of how we are called to witness love in the presence of what we might call evil. That when we say there is only God, the absolute good, that there is only love, and we witness something like that, how can we say that? How can we know that that's true? And I don't know that I have a definitive answer for that. But what has come to me about that as I have thought about it and written about it and meditated on it is that if love really is the only power, and love is the power that imbues all things, and I believe that love is the power that is back of all evolution, that love is that which powers evolution. Not only the evolution of plants and animals and things of the earth and things of the universe, but the evolution of humanity and the evolution of our consciousness. And the evolution of our consciousness is to evolve back into a recognition and a realization of ourselves as expressions of love of God in form. I believe that the process of evolution is our ever awakening consciousness of ourselves as the divine love expressing. What does that have to do with this issue? I think that while I would certainly advocate removing those people from their positions of authority. I think it is our opportunity to practice love. And what I mean by that is if love is our God, then our opportunity in the face of anything like that is to practice love. And what I mean by that is to hold everyone involved in those situations that we can witness in the energy of love. And what I mean by that is knowing that all is light, all is the divine, that we are one. We are even one with those people who do things that we judge as evil or bad or wrong. We are one, and they are one in that energy of love. Can we hold each other in that space? Even when we are totally distraught by what is happening. Can we hold that, trust that, know that we are ever evolving, and holding ourselves in love and holding the others in love is a way that we can consciously evolve. We can participate in our own conscious evolution by making the choice to change the way we would observe that, to lift it up in love, to lift it up rather than criticism and judgment and blame and guilt and all of the negativity that comes with that. Can we hold even those people who stimulate us as beings of light and love, that we are one with them? And then, what do we do with that? What do we do with that? I think it is how we transform. I think it's how we transform the world. How we transform our systems that we have created. How do we transform a system that is all about punishment? All about making people bad and wrong, judging, condemning, killing people that we don't agree with. That is an idea of God that I grew up with. That is not, in my way of thinking, a God of love. So is love our God? Really? And bringing it back home, making it personal. When somebody does something that goes against you, or somebody says something to you or to me that stimulates something for me, do I choose to let love be my God in that moment? Or am I going to choose to let that other idea be my God? You're bad. You're wrong. You need to be punished. And maybe the punishment is just withdrawing my love from you. Do you see how it plays out in our own personal lives? What is our God? What is our idea of who we are? If we believe, as Scripture tells us, what we teach, we are created as the image, likeness of God, if we believe that God is love, we are created as the image likeness of love, then we are here to be love, to express love. And so rather than ask in those situations, where is God? Maybe we ask, where am I? Where am I in that situation? Who am I in that situation? Who do I choose to be in that situation? Do I choose to be the one who's judging and condemning and blaming and wanting to punish? Or do I choose to be the one who sees beyond, who chooses to see the power of love working as that which is bringing into harmony, that which is the power that unifies, and the power that magnetizes? Am I going to be the one to unify the situation? It's great to know it. It's great to have an understanding of what that means. But how am I being that? Am I the one who's going to exercise the power that I believe God is in and through me as love, to be the presence of the power that brings together in understanding and harmony, that magnetizes unto itself an awareness of God, an awareness of love, whatever word you want to assign to it. Let there be love on earth, and let it begin with me. It's a song we sing every Sunday. Are we just saying the words? Or are we really making a conscious intention? Let there be love on earth. Let there be love manifested. And let it begin with me. Who am I? I am love. I'm here to be love in the world. That may mean challenging some of my ideas. That may be looking at myself and questioning, is my thinking in alignment with love? Are my words in alignment with love? Are my actions an expression of love? Who am I? Where am I? In every situation, and every situation is our opportunity. Every situation is our opportunity to choose to be love. And it shows up for us every day. We talked about that yesterday as well. Sometimes our partners are our best teachers of how to be love. How to be love in the world. So, I will just end it there, but I think the question I want to just bring up for us again is, rather than asking where is love or where is God, ask ourselves, where am I? Where am I in any situation? And who do I choose to be? And what energy do I choose to bring? Because what energy I put into it attracts like energy. If I'm putting out energy of judgment and criticism and blame, what's happening? It's building, it's growing, it's attracting into itself. If I want to change the situation, if I want to change the world, or any part of it, love is the only power that can transform it. And I get to choose to be that, or not. But bless. If you see something on television that triggers you, have your feeling about it, but shift to love as quickly as possible. Share love with the people who are involved, all of the people who are involved. Bless them with love, kindness, care. Judgment and blame cannot do that.